Well, this is a fun little October surprise to kick off the spooky season. And thanks to Canadian Thanksgiving, I also had some extra time to cobble this video together to try to capitalize on the movie's release this past Friday. What's going on YouTube? My name is Jay Lee and I like a lot of stuff. Today I'm talking about a brand new MCU release on Disney Plus in the form of a 30s inspired creature feature, Werewolf by Night. Didn't know much about this one other than the fact that Chris Stuckman reviewed it after it debuted as a secret screening at Fantastic Fest. Being a niche genre film festival, apparently when the audience found out it was going to be a Marvel Studios project and not the next big thing in high concept horror, people were disappointed. Until the film rolled credits, at which time... yeah, those haters changed their chin-stroking cinephile tunes pretty quickly. As a Marvel fanboy, I love when the studio surprises people and knocks one out of the park against the odds. But as a modern horror fan, I like this one well enough, but wasn't blown away by it. I say modern horror fan because although I've seen my fair share of classic horror movies, my film knowledge only goes up to about 1968 with Night of the Living Dead. And I do tend to prefer watching and rewatching 2000s horror movies. I've never seen any of Universal's 1930s and 40s monster movies, so those tributes and homages are kind of wasted on me. All I can speak on is the entertainment factor really, and yes, I was entertained. The movie does a really phenomenal job at replicating an old film style by implementing a bunch of creative techniques like film grain and splice marks.
In the industry, we call them cigarette burns.
I also have to highlight the werewolf transformation scene because Marvel films tend to come with buttloads of CGI, and I was wondering if they would go the practical route like American Werewolf in Paris or The Howling, or stick to something very effect heavy like Underworld, which I'm sad to say would be very on brand. How it was shot with the slow creeping camera, the flashing silhouettes, and the decision to focus on the actor's reaction was very tasteful and looked incredible. Visually, this is the most single unique MCU project to date. As a result, it's hard to say how much of this is going to be woven into the MCU proper. I mean, there are definite ties and implications for connections to the MCU world. My assumption is that this will connect more with the Blade and Black Knight realm of Marvel characters, but that's left to be seen. The story itself is simple but definitely lays the groundwork for future explorations of these new characters. As the film title suggests, this is a werewolf story. The rest of the cast of characters is kind of reduced to different sides of the same coin, in the sense that they're all monster hunters looking to achieve greatness within the confines of this hunt. The ensuing violence is fun, and the movie also gets props for practical effects. Mostly. And the directorial debut of a renowned composer, Michael Giacchino, deserves praise for sure. But with a runtime of only 54 minutes, the world building is brief and the scope of the story is small. There is enough here to pique my interest, so I'll be excited when I hear certain names in future MCU films, but when this movie wrapped, I was a bit underwhelmed. I didn't dislike it, but I think because of all the positive early reviews and the fact that it debuted at Fantastic Fest, I may have psyched myself out to believe this would be much more of a horror film than it actually was. This is why I usually avoid unnecessary exposure before these movies. Oh well. Werewolf by Night definitely is more of a special presentation type of project than a feature film within the Marvel Cinematic Universe. If you're tired of superhero movies but still have that Disney Plus membership, there are worse things you can watch leading up to Halloween. I like this one, didn't love it. Werewolf by Night gets a 7 out of 10 from me. With this weekly release schedule, I don't know how many horror movies I'll get to talk about, but I will be watching a bunch. Either way, come back soon to catch my thoughts on all the stuff I haven't talked about yet.